Another radical Muslim news. The president of Iran, Ahmadinejad, spoke in New York last week at the UN. Apparently, he wore the same clothes for 3 straight days. They do have room service where he was staying. And during that time, he also met with Minister Farrakhan and some Black Panthers, the New York Post is reporting today. Fox News correspondent Eric Sean actually interviewed Ahmadinejad in a bizarre display.
You wished Americans well, but you have insulted millions and millions of Americans by claiming that the U.S. government had a hand in 9/11. Quite frankly, sir, how could you say such an insane and nutty thing?
Would you address your own president the same way? Would they ever allow you to? You are speaking on behalf of the U.S. government.
No, sir, I'm not a journalist. I'm an independent, objective journalist.
But right now you said that the U.S. government has condemned Iran and that the UN Security Council has.
Yes, that's fact.
How do you represent them?
No, I do not.
All right, here now is Eric Sean. No, what? Look, I take the interview too if it was offered to me, but I know I'm not going to get anything out of the guy.
Well, Bill, as you do every night, our job here is not to let them off the hook.
So just keep asking questions even though you know he's not going to answer.
Well, you may. It's a conversation. When he says we don't want a nuclear bomb, you then say, well, you're violating 4 UN resolutions.
And then he calls you an American agent.
Yeah, he says, yes, I know. He said I represent the U.S. government. Right. I represent the UN Security Council, too. How can I do that?
Is he as crazy off camera as he is on camera?
I think he has a mission, and he is exactly the same as he is off camera as he is
Did you talk to him off camera? Say, how you doing? How's things in Tehran?
Not really because of the language issue. Usually, as you know, when you sit down, you can have some chit-chat with someone beforehand, but because of the language difference, we nodded and sat respectfully. When I started the interview, I said that, Mr. President, thank you for talking to Fox News.
Right.
And he
Does he know what Fox News is?
Well, he later said that we're backed by the Defense Department. And
we are the Fox News?
He said you. He said you. He said to me. And, and then he also said that I am connected to a government institution.
Did he have, security around him and goons and everything?
Well, they have security. They have
their own guys, right?
A lot of their own guys. So our own diplomatic security protects them.
I remember the Mike Wallace interview with Ayatollah Khomeini. Remember that famous interview? And Imam, forgive me, but you're totally insane and you're an idiot. That you said a little more bluntly than Mike Wallace did. But do you think Ahmadinejad is really off it?
No, he has a mission, and his mission is the policy of Iran. It is basically against American policy in Afghanistan and Iraq.
So he's not unstable mentally?
I don't think so. And I also think that he tried to reach out to the American people with this interview and the other interviews he does when he's here. He started the interview with a prayer, and he said he wishes good to the American people. Yeah. He wishes us a happy time.
And then he ran over and met with Louis Farrakhan. Hey, you want to reach out to the American people? That's the way to do it. Hey, and the Black Panthers were there too. So I just think there's something wrong with that whole crew. I really do. I think they're dangerous. I think they'd go down in flames and do whatever they could to blow the world up.
And the only chance we have this way is to talk to them and address them as I did with some blunt, tough questions and try to get them to answer.
All right, Eric. Thanks very much. We appreciate it.